person who's always alone is a person who has done the work. A person who's always alone is a person who has looked within, doing something that well, most people are afraid to do. You know, the reason why people who are alone is a person who you never really want to mess with in the first place is a person that who has done a lot of introspective shadow work. And when I say that, it's to look within. Why are people afraid to do that? It's the simple fact of the matter is the thing that it requires you to actually examine every I and every T. And that means you have to hold yourself accountable. Accountability is something that people aren't ready to do. Accountability is scary for a lot of people. Why? Because it requires them to look at their flaws. And oftentimes, people will always want to dress themselves up as the positive things about them. They want to be portrayed as something that's positive, nothing negative. But at the end of the day, we are all human. We are not perfect at the end of the day. You got to understand a person who is always alone has emotional intelligence, right? Situational awareness. They're very self-aware. There is nothing that you can tell a person who is always alone something about them that they don't know, because they have again examined about themselves. They have examined everything. Okay, and so when you think you're doing your doing your big one, trying to tell them about themselves, oh, they'll be able to tell you about yourself faster than you can even think. Because the thing is, you don't even know yourself. You haven't even looked in. You haven't turned in. A person who is always alone is a person who knows themselves deeper than what most people know their own selves. And what I mean that they know themselves on a level that other people don't themselves. And so being that they know themselves on a deeper level that most people don't, they also know that those other individuals on a deeper level than they know themselves. You're like, oh my, is this person psychic? Damn nearly. Because we're just as human as the next person. No, these people aren't judgmental, but they understand. And that's why they give people grace. They give people grace on grace on grace, because the simple fact of the matter, they understand where it means to not be awake until they wake up. And these people, oftentimes, God will use these individuals to wake other people up, okay? Because sometimes it takes other people to understand who you are, right? Now, it may come off as, who the hell do you think you're talking to? But at the end of the day, if what you are receiving, you can actually take that and be like, oh, there is some truth behind that. Very good, because you are holding yourself accountable. Okay? You have to be able to sit with your emotions. You can't just act off of anger, act off of emotions. Sit with your emotions, but don't act off your emotions. Okay? Logical reasoning, emotional intelligence is what I already mentioned. Okay? Not everybody is emotionally intelligent. They got all the intellect, they got all the wisdom. Now, just because you have wisdom and knowledge and understanding, don't mean you're applying it to your life. And even then, it's wisdom that comes about the application. So I'll take that back. You can have the knowledge, but it doesn't mean that you have the wisdom. And this is what separates people who are always alone versus people who are not. Because when you're around other people, you have so many distractions. You can't shoot. Those who are alone are hearing God's voice loud and clear. You can't hear God's voice if you're at a concert. You can't hear God's voice if you're always around a group of people. No. Shoot, you don't get the time to actually sit with yourself if you're always around people. You don't get to learn yourself at all. What good is that? I think the most important thing in life is to understand who you are before you leave this earth. But if you don't even dive deep, go deep within, what is the point? Some people will go their whole lives to sleep. But it's up to you if you want to wake up. Okay? But just keep that in mind. Let me know if this resonates with you. But as always, I love you. God bless. And remember, it's impact over influence, baby.